Yo, what's up guys, it's Tat, and welcome on in to another hot take episode. I will continue making this until you guys get bored. Yeah, as long as you guys keep posting hot takes, and if you enjoy this content, leave a like, and we'll keep making the videos, so let's dive right in. Ghoul isn't strong right now, just considered strong because most survivors all do the same stuff, hold W and pre-drop. I largely agree. I do think Ghoul has actually been over-nerfed. The biggest problem I had with Ghoul obviously was his auto aim. That's been fixed, and they also fixed a lot of his really overpowered add-ons. But now they've also made it so his power goes on cooldown when he breaks pallets. It also has less range. I think at the very least they could revert the range nerf, because that in particular feels really clunky. Thought I'd ask a few friends for their DBD hot takes, and this is what they gave me so far. Indoor maps are wildly unbalanced and should be removed. The killer you play isn't bad, you as the player are bad. Killer's a lot easier than Survivor. 𝗥𝗴𝗂𝗏𝗏 is god-awful and the most boring type of killer to play against. Tunneling and slugging are tactical plays and shouldn't be punished as heavily as they are. Oh, there's a lot of bullshit in this that I have to unpack. Indoor maps are wildly unbalanced, should be removed. I don't think anyone would really disagree with this. I mean, no one wants to get 4 RPDs in a row or 2 Hawkins in a row. Like, yeah, they're kind of interesting. I do think, you know, they spice up the game at times, but I will never enjoy loading in on Hawkins because it's just like 30 unsafe pallets that if you don't break, they can actually chain together. So yeah, that's not really interesting. Same with Gideon's. It's just like, it's the same thing but opposite, where it's just a bunch of safe pallets. And then maps like Larry's and RPD have really good Windows spawns. So yeah, that can be a bit of a pain in the ass, but I think that they all have their own place in the game, but they should definitely be revisited and given a balanced pass. Second point, okay, killer you play isn't bad, you as the player are bad. This is objectively false. I don't think I have to really go into too much detail. It just sounds like one of your friends just has never played killer. Obviously, same player on the same map with the same build. A trapper is going to obviously perform worse than a nurse or a blight. That's literally just how it works. Killer's a lot easier than Survivor. I agree. If you were talking about solo queue, if we're talking about Survivor with friends, then Survivor with friends is easier. 𝗥𝗴𝗂𝗏𝗏 is god-awful and most boring type of killer to play against. I also actually agree with this one. I don't know why people think it's like, it's so aha funny. Like, he just hits you, he hides around a corner and waits for you to come back. There's literally no gameplay. You're not being chased. You're just getting hit, running to a pallet so he can't hit you again. You heal. You then run back to your gen. He comes back and he hits you, and you have to do the whole thing over and over again. And eventually, it's a 3-gen, and eventually he runs out of kicks. You pop the gen and you escape. It's a 40-minute match every single time. There's no reason you shouldn't 4 out 𝗥𝗴𝗏𝗏𝗏. There's literally zero reason. It's the moment you spawn in, even on the best setup, he's lost, but it's gonna be the most dragged out match of all time. Tunneling and slugging are tactical plays and shouldn't be punished as heavily as they are. Yeah, I mean, yes, that's just true. Hot take, add-on design should be far stronger and more transformative. They almost had this with pre-nerf Blight add-ons, the only problem being that Blight's base kit is too strong, but instead of nerfing Blight's base kit, they turned his add-ons into the same boring stat increase every other killer has. I want add-ons that give new spells to 𝗥𝗏𝗏, more that completely change how a killer is played, giving them essentially a new power. I don't want fucking increases cooldown of Unga Bunga by 10%. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think the stat increases are fine in moderation. Limited to like maybe, you know, 6 or 7 add-ons of the 20 add-ons that are just like, yeah, your cooldown comes back a little quicker, your power lasts a tad longer, like that's fine. But if all the add-ons are just the same shit, and especially for like some of the older killers, who, you know, like Wraith, where he has 3 add-ons to just do the same exact thing, Trapper as well, despite his rework, Hillbilly also has this as well, and which really sucks because both Hillbilly and Blight, when they got changed, they took away their fun add-ons, the ones that had kind of like gimmicky ideas and stuff. And they just replaced it with like move speed and power duration and stuff like that. And that's just like, that's just a bruh moment. Like, like why, man? Boons should be more powerful and stronger in game like old Circle of Healing, but should break and deactivate once the killer breaks it. I actually disagree. I don't think like totems or the boon should deactivate necessarily, but I do think that boons should almost like complement each other, so that instead of just always bringing Circle of Healing, you'll say, okay, I'm going to bring Circle of Healing, or I'm going to bring Shadow Step, because it will buff a different boon perk. Like maybe you have a passive on each boon perk that has its own effects. So for example, Shadow Step has a slightly like bigger range, so it makes it so that it makes all boon totem perks have 4 extra meters of range. Maybe Dark Theory buffs all the other ones, so if they have an effect that lingers, it lingers for like an additional 4 seconds, that kind of thing. So there's more of a mix and match potential, I think. I've had the same hot take for a while. The hatch is an awful mechanic, like the entire thing. Even just looking at it on paper, it's a random free escape for a player. It also encourages the worst playstyles on both sides. Killers to slug for 4Ks and survivors to hiding to do nothing once 2 are dead. Yeah, it has its moments, of course, of being frustrating, but I do ultimately think the hatch is like, it's good for the game. It has lots of iconic moments attached to it. But as you mentioned, there is some grievances that could definitely be addressed at some point. Obviously, slugging for the 4K, it's fucking boring. Like you down the last guy, instead of hooking him, you leave him on the ground to look for the other dude. Like, okay, if someone runs in front of you after you've downed that person, there's like, yeah, that makes sense. But to down them and then spend the next 10 minutes looking for the other guy, like, just like, move on, man. It's so boring. So I do agree from that perspective. I, of course, have been playing Dead by Daylight for an abnormally a long time. I should seek professional help about it, but the hatch used to work very differently back in the day, where you had to at least repair 2 generators in order for hatch to spawn. So if your team just threw and you're at 5 gens, the hatch did not spawn, which meant that basically you lost, but the killer also lost, because now you're just gonna hide the whole game and the killer can't do anything to find you. So yeah, that was pretty rough. This will be a long one. Hope it makes into your next video. Lucky you. I think the Twins nerf to Victor's pounce from 2.7 seconds to 3.2 seconds, and the time it takes for him to return to you when crushed from 15 seconds to 20 seconds was unnecessary. Bad survivors who don't kick Victor will get stomped by both pre and post nerf twins. Yeah, okay. I think I can see where this is going. Yeah, I think I agree, honestly. It just feels like worse. It feels worse and doesn't really do anything. It's like how Legion can't see blood pools in Frenzy because they don't want you to like go after the person you just hit, but you just hit them and they're screaming their fucking head off, so you're obviously gonna know where they are. I can agree with this. It just artificially limits the killer rather than actually giving them like more counterplay or more tangible nerf. Old barbecue and chili blood point stacks should become base kit for all killers to aid in blood point grinding and discourage tunneling. Yes, if they also do this for Survivor. I think you have to do both at the same time. They have already kind of done that in the past, of course, by increasing score events and then also just the number of blood points you can get in each match. And nowadays we have like a double blood point event almost every single week. So I don't think blood points are really that big of a problem, at least during events. In normal amounts, they can be kind of stingy at times though. I think pigs should be able to vault pallets with their dash, just like 𝗥𝗏𝗄𝗏 does. Yo, wait, that could that could actually be kind of fire. Or maybe not like 𝗥𝗏𝗄𝗏, but more like Kaneki maybe, or like Wesker, where it ends your power, but then you go through like a short cooldown. That could be kind of interesting. Maybe with an add-on. You know, if you hit a drop pallet in your dash or over a window, that would be cool. I don't know. Is this guy cooking? You guys let me know. Is this guy cooking? Said this once in the community post and I'll say it again here. What the fuck is even Ghost's power? Undetectable and exposed. Any killer can run those as perks and add-ons and automatically become a better Ghostface. Yeah, I mean, as we know, a lot of the older killers in the game, they tend to have powers that are literally just a combination of perks that either existed before or became perks down the line. Like Myers is a perfect example. He has longer lunge, exposed, and vault speed. That's literally his entire power. He vaults 25% faster. He has a 0.1 second longer lunge. Wow. And everyone's exposed for a whole minute. That's literally his entire kit. And then the killer like Ghostface is just undetectable plus exposed. You do mention the drop leg add-on. I think it's kind of interesting what they did in 2v8 where they just made him just move 10% faster in his shroud. Maybe that's something they could actually do for Ghostface to make him better, because every time they've buffed Ghostface, it doesn't do anything. Like they reduce your power recharge and like the time to stock every time, and it just doesn't matter, because either the add-ons is still there and you need the other part of it, or the other add-ons are just so bad that you just don't care about using them. So I feel like Ghostface, he needs probably an add-on pass, and then also like a bit of a boost to his base kit in a way that's actually useful, not just like, oh, you can get your power back in 10 seconds now, before it was 12. Like it's like, who cares, man? I am so sick of the add-on balancing changes 𝗕𝗄𝗏 seems obsessed with doing, that are like, we saw that this killer only has 2 good add-ons, so we made them have base kit. The perfect example here is 𝗕𝗏𝗏. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of killers like 𝗕𝗏𝗏, Dredge, Ghostface. We just talked about Ghostface and how he has a bunch of add-ons that do nothing, and they keep making his recharge base kit. It's like, that's not gonna help him. That's not gonna make him any better. It was another killer recently that they Legion had his duration and speed base kit. The one thing that is nice is occasionally, like with Legion as an example, as well as Dredge, I'll focus on Dredge for this one. They'll make the add-ons base kit, like Malthinker's Skull and Hattie's Calendar, and the teleport, I think it's called Boat Key is the add-on. They'll make those add-ons base kit, and then they'll actually like keep the add-on like largely the same. So it's just a flat buff. So as an example, the locker exiting speed went from 3 seconds to 2.25 with the with Hattie's Calendar. Now I think by default it is 2.25, and they've basically kept the add-on more or less the same, where it's, instead of 0.25 like you would expect to get that value down, it's actually 0.4. So you get like a 1.85 second like locker exit, which was faster than you could ever do it before. So there is situations where they actually do just straight up buff the killer. Again, like with Legion, where they made the ruler add-on base kit, so instead of a 20-second power recharge, it's 15, but then they didn't nerf the add-on, so you can still use the add-on, and it gets even lower down to 10 seconds, so that like stuff like that is actually like a good thing to do. But like nerfing like half the add-on and making the other half base kit sometimes doesn't work out very well. Like with 𝗕𝗏𝗏 or like Barb's Glasses, like you're still going to use the add-on because there's literally nothing else that you can use. So you may as well just get the full value out of the old add-on. So yeah, I do kind of agree. Survivors should be more unique. They are literally skins. Every survivor should have an innate ability. Oh boy. I have something to say about this. A perk made base kit doesn't matter. I have no motivation of leveling multiple survivors because everyone does the same thing David King does. Besides the perk, obviously, there must be something unique to every one of them. I think the thing that's unique to every one of them is just their visual appearance. They're just skins, man. They're just skins. There's been other games that have tried like unique character abilities, and it always ends in everyone just wanting to play the same 3 games. Play the same 3. I don't know how many of you played RE Resistance, but I loved that game when it came out, and I would always like put my mouse in the loading screen at the exact spot needed to select either January or Jill. Every single time I knew the exact like pixel to line up my mouse so that I could always be the first one to pick it. So that would probably be what would happen in Dead by Daylight if they did that, unless they wanted to allow stacking, but then that gets kind of risky. It's too late for behavior at this point to do unique survivor abilities, at least in 1v4. They could probably start fresh in a custom mode or something in like a limited time event, but definitely won't make it into the regular 1v4 mode. Julie's mixtape should be base kit. No. Trapper isn't as bad as people say he is. Sure, he sucks at his bottom 5, but he can have a huge comeback potential. He is my son. Yeah, I mean, this goes for literally every killer. I mean, there's been people who say Legion's not bad, just watch Tat play. He gets 4Ks like almost every game. It's like, well, yeah. Like, I'm just good at killer. Doesn't mean the killer's good, you know? There's people who play Wraith or Trapper, or even Skull Merchant, and they'll get 4 kills. Again, it doesn't mean that they're good. It just means they kind of get, you know, a good match, or they're just naturally good at the game. Even killers like Myers, like they have a snowball ability, you know, like he can expose everyone, and he can theoretically use like Infectious Fright to chain downs. So there's potential there. I would say every killer is viable with an asterisk, where yes, it is possible to win with every single killer in the game, but that does not necessarily mean that they're like actually good. So yeah, and that is it, guys. That is all the hot takes I managed to scavenge in my comment section. I feel like some of you guys might be missing the point of this series. This isn't cold takes, these are hot takes. So give me some wild shit. Don't give me like the stuff like behavior should do better. Like, yeah, we know. we know that they should be doing better, man. We know that Legion should get a buff. We know that the S tier should be nerfed. Like, those are obvious. Give us something spicy, give us something new. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate it. Again, leave some real hot takes down below, and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.